done stuff for the troops too.
Absolutely, love it.
Yeah, and you deserve a lot of credit for that too.
Thanks.
When did that start? You've been doing that for quite a few years.
That started in about 2003, I believe. We went over to Japan, Okinawa, Guam, and I think Hawaii. We stopped. I'm not sure if we actually played because I had to send Chu Nero, who, rest in peace. I had to send him back home because he had this crush on this Spanish girl he had to get home for. So I ended up doing the rest of the tour three-piece. And as a result of that tour, you get evaluated after every performance for the military shows. And I had some very positive feedback about us to the extent where they said, we want these guys back. And we kept coming back, and then eventually they asked us to go to Iraq in 2004 and do that whole theater, Djibouti, Africa, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait. And I've since done so many other countries that we're in.
Very moving experience, I would imagine.
Yes, I can tell you, no matter where you stand on either side of the aisle politically, our troops are incredible. They're some of the most resourceful, helpful, disciplined people that I've ever met.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, and they deserve, like you say, no matter which side of the aisle you do stand on.
They deserve whatever we can do for them.
Yeah, and that's
and, the fact that you are a civilian and you don't have to be there and you'll come there is a big thing for them, because they can't just walk out of their tent and go down the street and have a beer and hear live music and get a taste of home. But the fact that you're bringing some quality entertainment over there, and I always made sure that I bring great guys with me, like Chu, and I had Paul Campanella Jr. on the tour. Aaron Trubick did a tour with me. Rodney Appleby, Roger Schley's done tours with me. Mike Phelps, you probably know Mike from a variety of bands. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody, but just some tremendous players have come along. And of course, Kevin Borzilleri has been the sound technician on all of them.
How hard is it to go over? I mean, how hard is it? It's got to be a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's harder than you think, because I tend to have to bring about 1,600 pounds of equipment or more with me. I have to have a full show, backline, amps, drums, PA.
Yeah, it's not like you can go rent it, while you're in Iraq.
Some places you can rent it. I mean, there are stores in Kuwait and things like that. But yeah, a lot of times you're playing on a flatbed in the middle of the desert, or we played Saddam's Palace, outside of Saddam's Palace, and got to stay there one day. Or
no kidding,
one week, rather.
Wow, that's awesome. I know we're quickly running out of time, and I wanted to cover, you had a really giant gig in Washington, right?
Yes.
Recently.
Yes, I played in front of about 40,000 people at the Washington Monument for Freedom Works Take Back America show, where they had musical guests like, do you remember, who's the guy that recorded The Streak and The Most Beautiful Girl in the World?
Oh, Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens was there, myself, and a bunch of other, like some political speakers like Ron Paul, who I was just thrilled to be able to meet and talk with Ron Paul and have him sign my End the Fed book.
So how did this come your way? I mean, is it from the USO?
Because I saw an ad on the internet for this movie that was coming out, the Tea Party documentary film, and I had already written a song called "Going to a Party," and the lyrics and everything fit perfectly with the movie. So I thought to myself, these guys are advertising that it's coming out in Thanksgiving. It's not done yet. It was just my intuition. I said, these guys are promoting it, but it's not finished. So I sent the producer the song. I said, look, I got a song I think is perfect for your film. And he wrote me back. He says, I love it. We're going to bump whatever was there, and and we're going to put your song in there. So we licensed it for the movie. And then as a result, I met a photographer down at the VIP screening of it in the Ronald Reagan Center, Washington, D.C. My mom and dad and I drove down, and I was able to see the movie with my song in it in the Ronald Reagan Center in the state-of-the-art auditorium with sound.
Good for you, man. Holy cow, that's got to be moving.
It was. Really moving for me, because it had been a rough year for me with a lot of loss, which included Chu and some other people in my life. And to have this was really a positive affirmation for me, because I did it myself.
Yeah.
I did all the parts, all the recording, and everything, the writing. And so anyway, I met this photographer down there named Michael Beck, who writes for Mobile Production Magazine. You may be familiar with it. He's also a photographer, and he was putting a tour together and was involved with some groups like Freedom Works, and they invited me to come perform at that. So I drove down and did it.
That's great. It had to be something to see the movie, like you say, in the Ronald Reagan Theater. Come on,
Yeah.
You know, to see it with your music in there. That's incredible.
Yeah, and then at the end, the rolling credits to say they rolled the song again at the end of the movie, and the credits came down. And to see him up there was quite an experience. It's surreal for me.
Yeah, it has to. You've done a lot of things like that. I mean, the USO stuff, the gig in Washington. That's fantastic.
I have been really blessed and fortunate with the opportunities and the people that I've been able to be around in my life, and I'm just really thankful for it.
What you put out comes back, and you are truly a gentleman. You're a scholar of what of the music that you like, of just about everything. And I know that we haven't touched on the fact that you studied jazz for a while. You studied with Frank for a while.
Absolutely,
I mean,
Frank Gerard. Frank.
You're a student of the game, and good things I think will continue to come your way. We have to head to a commercial break. We're going to listen to a little more Tommy Z. I want to thank you so much for coming down.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
And we'll see you in December with Tom, right?
For some Christmas music.
Christmas music. Stick around, folks. Heard it on the X.